I'm Francesc.
Welcome to this new MedTalk, and we're really happy to welcome you from Marseille, a city that is really key to the Mediterranean cooperation.
Exactly. Today we are here, the Mediterranean Youth Council, hosting this event. We are more of 40 members, 17 nationalities, from north to south of the Mare Nostrum, working in different thematics like digitalization, gender, art, always committed with the social values in different interconnect projects.
And today we want to introduce you to some of these really interesting initiatives. They are transverse, they are inclusive, they are relevant in all of the Mediterranean Peninsula, and we will be focusing especially on culture, heritage, and environment. And we will have the chance today to travel across the Mediterranean area within the next hour.
Exactly. And thanks for mentioning environment, because I would like to go deeper in this topic and deeper in the concepts inside environment, sustainability, and for example, to understand better the definition as just transition.
Todo bien. Good.
Accurate, you know, together. Je pense qu'une transition qui serait juste, ce serait une transition qui serait juste socialement, d'égalité d'accès aux soins, à l'école.
Local, equidad y disfrutar.
Et pour moi, cette égalité, elle doit être non seulement nationale, mais aussi internationale, parce que c'est toujours les mêmes pays qui sont touchés à la fois socialement, mais aussi en ce moment écologiquement. Et on dit que les catastrophes climatiques approchent, mais en fait, elles sont déjà présentes dans plein de pays.
Within the framework of the Cap Med Action Festival, we will have a look today at 4 local actions that took place in different countries: Morocco, Egypt, Spain, and France. They were all led by our Mediterranean Youth Council, and they tackle challenges that are similar in all of our different countries. In France especially, we will talk with Avesta about inclusion through arts in cooperation with the local organization giving voice to youth in Marseille. We will also talk about advocacy and actions to tackle waste management and waste as resources for art in Morocco. Then we will go to Egypt to visit fields, to take pictures, photos on environment, and to use them in order to take action in the Alexandria Film Festival. And at the end, last but not least, we will go to Girona, Manamora, in Spain, to do an artistic open contest to link sustainable and environmental problems with solutions coming from art. So let's give the floor to Avesta first.
Hello guys, how are you today?
Thank you.
Good.
Well, I'm gonna talk about what happened 13 June. We have been in the social center of Saint-Maron, a neighborhood in Marseille, and we met with the association Citizen Campus, very enthusiastic young people interested in street art and on the question of environment and fair transition. We decided to highlight the question of global warming because we were in a non-green area and far away from any water sources. And they make a whole artistic creation into the social center with the help of an artist, and they participate also in activities on the thematic of fair transition proposed and led by Neylan from Citizen Campus. She will also explain in depth about the action in this video right now.
Campus est une association qui accompagne l'engagement citoyen, plutôt de tous les citoyens. Pour nous, c'est super important de pouvoir faire exprimer les personnes à partir de ce qu'elles pensent, de créer ces espaces-là d'expression, de créer des possibilités aussi d'agir derrière, donc de ne pas rester simplement dans la frustration, dans le sentiment d'être dépassé.
C'est un collectif de jeunes marseillais. On est ouvert à d'autres jeunes. Et l'objectif, c'est vraiment de créer un espace sécurisant et sécurisé pour les jeunes pour pouvoir s'exprimer librement en fait. Dernièrement, on est beaucoup sur la question des discriminations en tout genre, mais particulièrement raciste également. Et ensuite, on est aussi sur la question de la précarité alimentaire. Donc on mène des actions autour de ça. Ça peut être des ateliers de discussion ou des culinaires et solidaires, donc des moments où on fait manger ensemble avec des aliments issus de récup de d'autres assos partenaires.
Là, on a fait un atelier sur une autre thématique, celui de la transition écologique. Moi, j'ai été formée il y a 6 mois au programme Transition Juste. Et donc, l'idée de cette formation-là, c'est de pouvoir s'adresser aux jeunes, et en particulier aux jeunes des quartiers populaires, parce que généralement, c'est ceux qui sont le plus concernés et le plus impactés par les changements climatiques, mais que malheureusement, ils sont encore sous-représentés dans les luttes écologiques. On évite d'être trop alarmistes, quoi. L'idée, c'est de leur dire en fait vous n'avez pas d'avenir et c'est terrible, mais au contraire de dire que non, il y a des possibilités d'agir. C'est de les inviter aussi à prendre la parole et à se sentir légitime de dire des choses sur l'écologie.
Alors moi, je trouve qu'elles ont été assez vite dans le bain, elles ont pris la parole spontanément pour finalement, certaines qui pensaient qu'elles n'étaient pas concernées par la question ou que c'était éloigné d'elles, elles se sont rendues compte qu'elles ont vécu ça l'été dernier ou qu'elles voient ça à la télé ou autre, mais qu'elles sont concernées aussi et qu'elles peuvent agir. Donc, en vrai, ça s'est super bien passé. Je pense qu'ils sont tous un peu grandis de cet atelier.
Thank you very much, Avesta. As a representative of the Mediterranean Youth Council in Marseille, I'm really happy to see that such initiatives are taking in Marseille. Now we want to see how the Americans did with their own actions in order to create arts and to enable waste management.
كانت شي حاجه بلاستيك هادو كنا درنا واحد بالبلونط هنا صاو ديما في لي ديشي يحاولوا شي حاجه اللي يكون عندها الشيبس مطراسين باينين مثلا كي قلت البارح في لابيل الا درتي غلاقه دايره.
Hello everyone, my name is Wiam Reda and I am excited to share with you the highlights of our mid-action event held in Morocco in Casablanca the 8th and the 9th of June. Organized by the Mediterranean Youth Council and coordinated by Les Têtes in partnership with the Youth Waste Center in Morocco, our initiative uses photography and the cyanotype technique to advocate for just transition in coastal neighborhoods. On the first day, we presented our projects and the basics of the photography and the cyanotype technique to the participants, equipping them with the skills and the knowledge they needed. The second day featured a photo walk through 2 contrasting neighborhoods in Casablanca, Al-Unq, a poorer area, and Intiab, a wealthier one. Participants captured the stark environmental and societal inequalities between the 2 neighborhoods, then headed to the beach where they photographed and collected waste for their artworks. In the afternoon, participants used the cyanotype technique to create art from the collected waste, highlighting the environmental and the social issues in Casablanca's coastal neighborhoods. These powerful photographs and artworks aim to raise awareness and provoke action in the audience's souls and minds. Thank you to everyone who has participated and supported this event, and together we are making a difference.
Another beautiful initiative that took place in Morocco. And before we give the floor to Frances, I want us to watch one last video about Egypt and this Alexandria Film Festival that we talked about, in order to see what they did in their own territory.
Hello, I'm Nadine, an NYC member from Egypt, and also I'm the team leader for CapMed project in Egypt this year. CapMed is a project that aims at raising awareness about environmental topics through arts, and for this, we collaborated with Panlastic and also with artists in Egypt. The project started with a co-creation lab in which we decided our main theme, which is just transition, and also we decided our 4 main tracks, which are creative writing, comics making, and also short movies making, and lastly, theater acting workshops. The project started through a series of workshops that were held in May and the first week of June, and also there were 2 field visits. And the outputs of these workshops gonna be displayed in the first edition of Alexandria Green Film Festival that gonna be held in starting from 21 of June till the first week of July. So see you there.
Thank you, Elizabeth, for showing us all these amazing projects. And now it's the turn to go to Spain, to go to Girona, where we held also an amazing project in art and sustainability issues. In Girona, we created an open call art exhibition. In this exhibition, we merged the art and the environmental awareness in a unique event. We created the event Last Breath, Portrait of a Parched Earth, where artists of diverse backgrounds turn their vision and concerns into impactful artworks. In this case, we could see different paintings, provocative sculptures, also different captivating photograph pieces of art calling to action and reflection in sustainability matters, and especially one that is affecting in Catalonia, the scarcity of water. Through these various artist media, we aim to convey to visitors the urgency and complexity of the environmental issues surrounding us. From drought to other manifestations of climate change, the exhibition served as a meeting point to explore these themes in a deeply emotional and inspiring way. So we invited a lot of people to have this visual and emotional journey where each artwork invited to explore different dimensions of our natural environment and its transformation. So this was the first part of our work, our exhibition. After this art exposure, we had a second part. We had a talk, a workshop, a dialogue with Maria Serra. Maria Serra is the EU Climate Pact ambassador, and she was explaining to us different ways to communicate climate change issues. She showed us how to address these issues, how to express them in different media, and basically how to be ready with the tools needed to express the world, the needs that we have. And at the end, we finish all this journey in an amazing workshop by the artist Igloo. She showed us through scrapbooking techniques how to express our feelings that are caused because of the climate change. In this workshop, we started first of all talking and expressing our doubts, our curiosities about environmental issues. When we got all these issues captivated, we expressed them with different tools in our scrapbook techniques to get at the end an artwork book to show to the exhibition of our loved Girona. So that was a super project with a really impactful area in our local actions. And we are so proud, and we are invited you, if you have the possibility to go to Girona, to to visit and enjoy as we did. So now, moving on with all these concepts, I would like to know what's happening in Marseille. There is something interesting happening, right, in the city?
Yes, actually, there is, there are reasons why we chose this topic for today's talk, because we do believe that cultural heritage might be a lever for inclusion, for art, for environmental preservation, and yeah, in Marseille there is a really interesting project that is called Acta Vista, and they are using prestigious built heritage as a lever for inclusion, for expression of individuals, and they are doing eco-restoration of historical monuments. They are bringing people closer to work opportunities, people that are really far from work opportunities, vulnerable people. And I think it's really important for us to militate, to advocate for more links towards the world of insertion and culture. I think all these challenges that I'm talking about, that you talked about, are really common in the Mediterranean area, and it might be important to give more floor, more access to culture, so that culture is not reserved to certain elites anymore, and so that it can become a tool for inclusion, social empowerment, and environmental empowerment as well, obviously. Actually, this Activista Association also won the Europa Nostra. I don't know if you know this European prestigious prize,
Wow.
but they have a lot of interesting things going on.
Wow, I totally agree with the words that you said, and actually I'm so curious to know more about this project that you have been talking about, and I have some questions for you that I would love to hear the answers. And I would like to start with a first idea that I'm wondering to know, which is the impact, or do you think which type of impact this fourth restoration can have for the city of Marseille?
Well, actually, they hire 150 people each year.
Wow.
They take them through a pedagogical process where they can learn old masonry techniques in order to restore a built heritage. They get a diploma at the end of their path, and they also are trained, and they can build their own project of a career project. So 150 people each year for about 20 years now. I think they've made quite an impact in the local scale, and they are also giving back to life this military fort that you talk about. It's called Le Fort Saint-Nicolas, and it's now opening to the public for the first time in 360 years. So it's giving back to Marseille and to Marseille people what belongs to Marseille people.
That's totally right. And wow, there is a lot of people living this experience, I see. And a funny fact is that I came from Barcelona, and I'm seeing Marseille with a lot of resemblances with my city. I see a lot of connections, and we share a lot of concepts, like, for example, Marseille is also like the opposition to the main capital, like Barcelona with Madrid in the case of Spain. How do you see this work with that project?
Well, I think Avesta will be agreeing with me when I say that there is quite some opposition between Paris and Marseille.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. À jamais les premiers. But it's always a kind of opposition, of course. And actually, to be honest, I studied this fort's history a little bit, and I learned that it was built in 1664 by Louis XVI in order to tame the Marseille people, because they were not, compliant enough with the regime, with the authority of the king. So I do think that there is quite a strong symbol in the fact that today it's open to the public, it's given back to the Marseille people, and obviously, you know, it's a common ground with Barcelona as well.
We have a lot in common.
And we say à jamais les premiers. Visca Barcelona.
Visca Barcelona. And I would like to ask you a last question that is also related with Barcelona issues nowadays. It's about tourism. And I would like to know, what do you think, which type of impact in tourism terms can have this in Marseille?
Well, on this one, I think I will invite the viewers to, you know, comment and give their own point of view, especially if they're from Marseille and they know what tourism is in Marseille. But it's also true that sometimes Marseille and Barcelona can be compared. Personally, I tend to think that Barcelona is kind of similar to Marseille, but with you know, a lot of mass tourism. That we will be trying to avoid in Marseille, and the way that this project was built, it's trying to be inclusive. It's trying to be balanced in the way that it can, you know, be everyone's project, everyone's fort, but it should not be or should not encourage, you know, mass tourism, because it's also, you know, a way to harm our heritage, our environments, to surcharge a little bit. With too much tourism, so we have to find the right balance, and so that everyone can enjoy Marseille and treasure it in the same time.
Totally agree. I think that you said the word, the secret word. It's balance, and in this case, Barcelona maybe need to know and to learn a little bit more of this type of projects initiative, and as well as you were saying, we could go to the streets of Marseille to check the opinion of our colleagues to see what they think about all of this.
From China, and in China there's a lot of nuclear plants to produce electricity, but I personally think that this is a problem because nuclear is an energy that humans cannot completely master, so I think the nuclear is one of the ecological problems in my country.
Enfin, moi, à titre personnel, il y a un truc que je ressens directement, c'est le réchauffement climatique, je pense, à Marseille. Déjà en 6 ans, j'ai vu un changement quand même assez fort. Mais du coup, avec cette question-là de la chaleur, on peut poser la question de la bétonisation des centres-villes, le fait qu'il n'y ait pas d'espace vert, très peu d'arbres, etc. Enfin, on pense au marché de la Plaine, la place de la Plaine qui a été complètement bétonnée. Et du coup, c'est une fournaise totale l'été. Le fait que tout à Marseille aussi tourne autour de la voiture principalement, très peu de moyens qui sont mis en œuvre pour le déplacement doux, enfin en vélo, piéton ou même le transport en commun.
Je viens plus du nord de la France, vers la Mayenne, et il y avait des hivers quand j'étais petite, on voyait de la neige tous les hivers quasiment, et maintenant on sent un réchauffement plus de manière générale pendant l'hiver et vraiment des canicules pendant l'été. Après c'est vraiment un ressenti individuel, mais c'est aussi confirmé par les nombreux rapports du GIEC, les travaux des scientifiques. Mais en fait j'ai vraiment du mal avec les gens qui disent que ces ressentis c'est pas du tout justifié et que les scientifiques racontent n'importe quoi.
You know, I'd say just general pollution, like when you go to a new city and the air quality is bad, or you're swimming in the ocean and you just feel garbage. It's like, you know it's not good for the environment and it doesn't make you feel good, I'd say.
Moi je dirais ce qui me touche dans le quotidien, c'est-à-dire voir la quantité de poubelles partout, la quantité de plastique surtout, qui n'est pas forcément trié, vraiment qui n'est pas forcément recyclé.
Voilà. Et je vois notamment tous les matins aussi à Marseille un truc très spécifique, Ils nettoient les rues avec des grands jets d'eau et ils balancent toutes les merdes qu'ils peuvent, tous les détritus directement dans les caniveaux. Ça, c'est aussi un autre truc, je pense, qui est assez propre à Marseille.
Localement, je pense que si on parle de la ville de Marseille, il y a trop de béton par rapport aux arbres, par rapport au verre.
Il faut éduquer les parents et les enfants ensemble. Il faut prendre soin de l'environnement. Par exemple, ici, dans l'espace ici, on n'a même pas un espace pour les enfants pour jouer. Il nous manque vraiment quelque chose d'embellir le quartier, le rendre plus heureux et le plus valorisé.
Pour moi, les solutions, elles ne sont pas locales, elles ne sont pas individuelles, elles sont étatiques et elles sont gouvernementales. À notre échelle, c'est juste pour moi une histoire de se rassurer que d'avoir des actions, des petites actions. Et quand on voit les différences énormes de consommation d'énergie entre les ultra-riches et le reste de la population, je ne vois pas ce qu'on peut faire à une échelle individuelle.
Moi, je pense que je suis assez d'accord. La théorie du colibri, elle a plutôt ses limites parce que faire des parts individuelles, ça vise plutôt la bonne conscience.
Que con el arte podemos intercambiar y hacer que la cosa sea vista por otra persona. Es una manera de hablar.
Alors ça, c'est une question que je trouve assez difficile. Moi, je suis chanteuse, donc à la base, je dirais déjà, ça serait bien que les artistes qui travaillent dans ce milieu s'engagent de plus en plus.
Récemment, on a fait une présentation ici sur la place avec la musique, mais on a essayé de parler de l'environnement et tout en chanson. On a fait le théâtre aussi, on a fait les robes, comme on a dit tout à l'heure, c'est des robes qu'on a utilisées avec les matériaux qui sont recyclés.
Je pense qu'il y a aussi la question de la transmission de l'art, parce que c'est souvent réservé à une élite culturelle, économique, et souvent les personnes qui sont touchées par cet art-là sont déjà au courant, au fait de ce qui se passe et sont informées, on va dire, des enjeux environnementaux.
Utiliser, je sais pas, après ça peut être un moyen de sensibiliser peut-être les gens à certains enjeux, en faisant des expositions ou des actions, voilà.
Okay, cool.
Well, I think we can all take a moment to appreciate the beautiful diversity that we found and we had the luck to find in the streets of Marseille. And I would like to add one more contribution, because even if the CapMed Festival only involved people from Morocco, Egypt, Spain and France, we have another contributor from Kosovo actually. She will not be presenting the whole project, but she will be giving you a teaser that you will be able to find the link in the bio of the video, so you can understand a little bit how she worked, committed to environment, resources management, and what she enabled in Kosovo.
So yeah, I think that it's so interesting to check the different perspective of the Mediterranean, not only big countries like we were talking about, also these different minorities, right?
Also because Kosovo is not often talked about, and we're trying to achieve as much inclusivity as we can in the Mediterranean Youth Council, and Erbina has been a really proficient member of the council ever since she came in.
Exactly. And before going to this Kosovo experience, from the ones that you have watched and experienced, you have any particularity that you would like to highlight, maybe, that could... How do you feel? How do you felt the project when you were doing it?
No, the project was great, but I wanted to highlight something about the street interview. What we see is nothing than the backstage.
Alright.
There was a lot of refusals, about people that was really disappointed about media in general.
Understandable.
That's it.
And it's too bad because what we saw on camera is really, really interesting, and the people who answered this, sidewalk interviews were really. I thought they were really well formulated in the way that they thought and stuff, and it was really interesting. And well, it seems we'll only be able to access the video through the bio, but I want to give the floor to someone who is here with us today and who has lots of interesting inputs to give. So can you please introduce yourself to begin with?
Hello everyone, my name is Dana Adawi and I'm very happy to be here with you.
Welcome.
I am based in Amsterdam, but I'm born and raised in Cairo, grew up there my whole life, so I'm Egyptian, yeah.
And you've seen everything that we've done with art, environment, culture. Do you have any inputs, any project that you worked on that can kind of like be connected to these thematics?
Well, actually, after hearing about the amazing projects, and to be honest, I can't wait to see all of the videos. But I had the pleasure and honor in 2019 to work on this project or an established NGO that was just starting up. And as we know, in certain developing countries, sustainability and recycling and climate change is not really, there's a very big lack of awareness about it. And there was this NGO called Very Nile that had just started operating, that was mobilizing groups of people, reaching out through social media. They started off on Facebook, I think, because at the time it was really still a big thing. But they started reaching out to people where you could fill out a volunteering form, where you could join groups. On each weekend, they would take large groups of people, young and old, to get on these fishermen boats into the Nile and manually clean up all of the garbage that was thrown in. And that was kind of to promote maybe non-tangible cultural heritage or bodies of water as part of cultural heritage, because as we know in Egypt, most of the population is centered around the Nile, because that is the biggest source of water that we have, or the only clean source of water that we have. So it was more so about preserving that generational lineage of taking care of the Nile and preserving the land around it, because our ancestors made sure to plant it and populate it and bring so much life into it. So how come are we now destroying the houses that were built on the sides of the Nile, throwing all of our garbage in there, disposing of it? And then the transformation of that NGO came to about where they had too much people volunteering. They couldn't keep up, so people weren't even answered as volunteers. And later on, they accessed some funding that was able to allow them to build a machine that basically is a huge boat that acts as a vacuum cleaner for the Nile, which was really special. And it's such a shame that it's not more well known, because I thought it was a really interesting project. And they're still alive today and growing and growing. So I was very, very proud to work with them, honestly. Yeah.
Wow.
It sounds like a really beautiful project, and it's kind of the job of the MYC to spread the word, and we hope that we can maybe transfer some of that knowledge here in Marseille, in Barcelona, and in everywhere else that we have a contributor in.
Exactly. Thank you so much for sharing all this knowledge with all of us. And with this, we are arriving to the final moment of this talk. I would like to thank, first of all of you to be here. Also, all the participants with the different projects, also the partnerships and all the collaborations. It has been absolutely pleasure, and I can't wait to see the upcoming future projects among us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
See you
Thank
soon.
you. Bye-bye.